is excited today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am very, very hopeful that our session today will be very exciting. The reason is today we're going to be looking at the possibility of seeing our first spreadsheets. And like I said, I promised something really important yesterday and today. I will be fulfilling that, which is being able to show us how to get. Okay, for those who do not know, my slides are designed in Canva. So, of course, you can do this for with Canva free. Uh, Somebody's mic is on. Okay, we're good. So you can do this with Canva free. So it's very easy to do. All right, so welcome to day two, and then we are going to start rolling. Please, if you have any friend who is supposed to join this session, you see that I reduced the session to 1 hour. Again, we don't want to bore you. Like I said, we just want to make it action, action, and then you can go and work with your own data sets. You can go and do your assignments. You can go and bring something, start making something of it. Not too much grammar. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to access spreadsheets. That's where I'm going to start from. Um, we're going to focus on Excel and Google Sheets. So these two software, one is hosted on, one is always online. That's Google Sheets, and then one is either online or offline, which is Excel. What Why do you prefer one over the other? Uh, there are many pros and cons to both of them. When it comes to power and capacity to handle data, I will go for Excel. And of course, because of other numerous features, especially the fact that it can easily integrate with other applications in the Microsoft App Studio. That is, Microsoft has a lot of other applications like especially the set they call Microsoft Power Apps, Power Automate, and other set of Power Apps. And the fact that Excel integrates easily into them is a very, and of course with Excel, with Microsoft Power BI, right? That's Power Business Intelligence. It's for me a choice. Now, why do some people prefer Google Sheets? Google Sheets, because of course Google also integrates with everything that Google has. I mean, Google Sheets integrates with everything that Google has. For instance, you can integrate your. How many of you received mails? Let me see. How many of you have received mails since you were start? Okay, good, good. I can see hands. We've received mails. You need to believe that these mails were not sent with Gmail. Rather, they were sent with Google Sheet. They were sent with Spreadsheet. Some people do not believe. Those are that's part of the functions of, or the power of something like that's the power of something like Google Google Sheets. That's why some people prefer it. We just ran some what we call scripts. So we're going to talk about scripting in a bit. Now, I was talking about the pros and cons of both of them. The limitation of Google Sheets is that sometimes when data is really large, Google Sheets tend to struggle depending on the capacity of your system, that's the computer you're using or the device you're using. Number two, on the how good your network is at that point. So sometimes I know there's the offline version where you can still continue to work with Google Sheets offline, but it's not as powerful. Then, of course, the major advantage is that it can connect with other things that Google uses. Like I said, using Google Sheet to send an email, personalized email. those are some of the advantages. However, um, this advantage can be limited where you don't have good network or where your computer is not, the capacity is not that big. Um, Another advantage of Google Sheets is its interconnectivity. The fact that literally hundreds of people can be looking at, working with, accessing data from the same spreadsheet at the same time. That is its power, just like every other thing they do in their Google Sheets. That is Google Docs, Google Google Sheets, Google Decks. That's their presentation. So these are the advantages, and I've told us the limitation. For Excel, Excel is not really interested with connectivity, but there's a way you can do that. Hopefully, if time permits, we'll look at that possibility. Now, how do you access spreadsheets? Um, of course, Google Sheet is limited to accessing it online. If you have a Google account, then that means you have an access to Google Sheets. For instance, let me see if I can open. So for Google Sheets, I want to stop sharing this so that I can share my entire screen so that you can see. Just a minute, so that you can see me accessing Google Sheets. So let's share entire screen so that you can follow up with me. All right, if you can see my screen, just give a thumbs up, just drop some shines. All right, we're good, we're good. So I will try to access Google Sheets. You can do this through sheets.google.com for Google Sheets. That's universal. Sheets.google.com. Or you can also access Google Sheets like every other um like every other on Google by coming down here and accessing Sheets here. Like you can access Blogger and all their other free applications here. So you can see it here. This is Google Sheets right here. And then you can open it up by just doing this, and then your Google Sheet opens. Right there, you can add a new sheet if you do not have any sheet before, and then there are templates to choose from, but we are not going to be talking templates for now. Now, this is how to access Google Sheets. For Excel, let's go to Excel. For Excel, if you have a computer, you can just search. I'm going to search. Please, the full name for Excel is Microsoft Office Excel, actually, but now you can call it Microsoft Excel and you can just call it Excel. So search on your laptop and then it will open this way. Sorry, I have some data. Yeah, so looking like this. So this is how to access spreadsheets. But Excel has an online version, which I didn't know until I started putting this together. Let's see if we can find it. Apparently, there are different URLs, but the easiest of them all is excel.cloud.microsoft, or let's just type excel.com and see what comes up. Sorry, I think my network is a bit slow there. So you can access it through, if you're taking notes, you can access it through excel.cloud.microsoft. My excel.com is not working. So go use excel.cloud.microsoft and you will have access to your to Excel Online. And one thing with the Excel Online version is that number one, it is free. Number two, it is the latest Excel. That's something you need to know. Excel over time, you see just the way the Office is, Office 2000, Office 2016, 2013, and 1996, and all of that. But over time, Excel has moved their services, or Microsoft have moved these applications into what is now called the Office 365. And that's the latest. They no longer support the other versions. If you do not have the latest version of Excel, there are some formulas you will not be able to use. That is why for some of our practice, we will actually be using this Excel, where you can sign in, of course, with your email. You can sign up, and then you can create blank workbook as a guest or signed in. And of course, you can upload a file from, maybe you have an Excel offline version that you're working with and you want it to be online, you can always upload it. So these are ways to access spreadsheets from anywhere. All right, we've gone almost the first 15 minutes. Let's see if we have enough. Just a minute. All right, so we've gone the first 15 minutes. If you have questions, I want you to drop it in the chat box. Just drop it in the chat box if you have questions, and then we're going to address all of them via messages later, or the last 15 minutes we'll just use to drop questions. All right, so let's proceed with our session today. We've talked about how to access spreadsheets. Now, an overview of the Excel interface. Someone's mic is unmuted. Blessing Shaibo, can you mute your microphone? Good, thank you. All right, so let's proceed with our overview of the Excel interface. For us to, the interface of Excel and Google Sheets are quite similar. However, I don't really like the theory of it. I'll just show you so that everyone is at least familiar a little bit with what each interface, what applies to them, and then we're going to play around with them a little bit. Now, the very first thing is that you have a program frame when you open Excel, and then on it, there are different aspects. Let's start at that. I have a blank workbook here. Yeah, my blank workbook. So here is like a program interface, something that tells you about basically that links everything that you will be doing in the application. First, to start with, when you open an Excel document or spreadsheet, it is called a book. A book because it has different sheets. That is, here you can see, down here you can see sheet 1. If I add to it, it will be sheet 2. So that when I say Excel workbook or Excel book, you will not be wondering where this one come from again. In a book, of course, we all went to school, so in a book there are sheets. That's the same way it is designed to say, okay, this is a workbook, and in a workbook there are several sheets. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, the very first thing at the top here, that's center top, is the title. If I name this document now, you see the title change. Should we do that? No, let's not do anything yet. And then these are different buttons that, of course, tells me what aspect of range of things I can do. Here we have the file. There you have, that's where you can open a new one, you can open an old one, you can save as, share, export, publish, close, and all other things that you can deal with. I have insert, I have draw, a whole lot of things. Like I said, I really don't like the theory of it. You don't understand it until you start using it. So let's leave that point. And that's the program frame. Let's look at the menu bar and the ribbon, how to hide and unhide it. So this is the menu bar, the very complicated part of the whole thing. When I click the buttons in the program bar, the menu changes based on my selection, right? And of course, we usually stay at the home part because when you open a workbook, that's where you're supposed to find yourself. Now, here I can decide to hide this. This is where I display or not display my ribbons. Let me um, allow it hidden. You can see I've hidden every option that is on that bar. Then I can unhide it to show my tabs. Okay, I want it to show more, to show the commands too alongside. So this ribbon, hide ribbon or ribbon display, tells you how to manipulate this. Either you want it hidden, you want it minimized, or you want it displayed in full like this. I think that's important, right? Now, let me introduce the other part as we go into finishing this. So you have the segment where that's the segment of the ribbons where you have different aspects, but again, we'll look at them one after the other if we have the time. We have the formula bar where your formulas usually will show. And you have your workspace. This area where you have the lines is where we call the workspace. And you have the tabs where I've shown you earlier where you see your sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, as the case may be. And then we have something that is very important that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And for if you're into development and all of that, or if you work with large data sets, is somewhere your eyes will usually be. This point that tells you, it's called the status bar, that tells you the state of your workbook or your worksheet or a formula or a code that you're running. All right. Here it is telling us we're ready. We're ready to get it done. Another thing that you may need to pay quality attention to is this portion right here that tells the identity of the cell that you're working with. Okay, I don't talk. For those who have not worked with spreadsheet before, the intersection between a row and a column, these are rows and these are columns, is called a cell. Rows are horizontal, that is from number 1 to almost infinity, while columns are lettered from A almost to infinity. I think it has an end, but I've forgotten. You can look that up, but you can break it. I don't know the data set you'll be working to get to the end. So now when you have a cell, like I said, a cell is the intersection between a row and a column. The identity of the cell is displayed right here, right? Good. And anything you write in a cell is displayed on your formula bar. Very, very important. Very important. So the name of this is called the name box. That's the name of the identity of your cell. And this is the formula bar. Now let's write something and see. It's showing on the formula bar, so it doesn't just display formulas. I know we call it formula, but I think if I was the one, I would have called it content bar, right? But sorry, I'm not the one that made it, so I name it. So we'll just call it its name, formula bar. Though it will show whatever the content are, either it's a formula, a number, a string, whatever it is. All right. I think I'll stop at this point and ask. Okay, should we do a bit of formatting? Let's look at our guide before we go out of focus. Do we have time to take a few? No, we don't. So from tomorrow, we're going to be, we may still be able to get to it. Now, what are the first steps in the data analysis process? Like I said yesterday, when people hear about data analysis, what comes to their mind is spreadsheets, dashboards, trackers, numbers, formulas, and all of that, which is fine, which is part of it. But there's way more than that to data analysis. If you've ever worked with any data set, you will realize that the presentation, the dashboard is the simplest part of the whole process. Let me explain. In the data analysis cycle, or people call it data analysis process or data analysis cycle, or people just give it their names. I'll call it data analysis cycle. The first step is data collection. You must collect your data, and of course, your data, if you must know where you're collecting your data from. The source of the data is what determines if you'll be misguided, misled, or you know what we call sincerely wrong. You do a very good analysis, and you sincerely, emphatically wrong in details, right? Because your data is wrong. So if your data is wrong, your analysis will be wrong, your insights will be wrong, the conclusions will be wrong, the recommendations will be wrong. All right? So data analysis starts with data collection. You must verify your source. That's why when you're working with a data set, you always have to state the source. Where did you get the data from? All right? Number two, data cleaning. Before data analysis, and then data presentation. When I say presentation now, presentation of your insights, depending on how you want to communicate it. Do you want to put it in a dashboard? Do you want to interpret it into words? However you want to present your thoughts or your insights. Data collection, data cleaning, data analysis, then you get to data presentation. Guess the most difficult part? Data cleaning. Data cleaning is the most difficult part of everything I've just explained. And so today we're just going to talk about the very first step, which is data collection. How and where do you get your data set? Don't worry, I got you covered. I have this. These are some of the, let me call it the most popular, according to all this data here is according to Career Foundry. I just basically took it from their website and typed here. Of course, I got the links by myself, but I wish I can make this available to everyone. Google data set search, that is, just go to Google and search, and you can use this dataset search.research.google.com. That may sound long, but I'm going to make this available as a picture on the group or the WhatsApp group today, and then we're going to drop this whole PowerPoint. We're going to drop it in. We're going to make it into PDF, and then we're going to drop it in our resource center on Telegram. If you've not joined the Telegram, please endeavor to join. We're going to post the link after this meeting again for you to join, so that you can access some of the resources that are there. Kaggle is my go-to place. I'm going to say that again. If you're practicing as a data analyst, especially you're using Excel, you're using Google Sheets, Kaggle is where I go to get most of the data that I use. And then, of course, every other one here. Now there are specialized data sets. For instance, if you're working on development, that's where you go to data.gov. That's a database of the US government. And if you're working with specialized data set like Earth data set, when I say Earth, that is natural disasters, science that involves space and all of that, nature and all, there's a specialized data set website for that. And depending on your field, for those in healthcare, for those in I think I found for people in construction, I found for those in healthcare, especially epidemiology, public health related places or titles. And then I found for those in tech and all of that. So just search around on Google. Google is your friend. You get a lot of other places where you can get practice data sets and real data sets that you can work with or practice with. And maybe we'll take a look at our first data set today if we still have the time. Yes, we do have the time. I'm just going to go over to, I want us to vote before I go over to, let me stop presenting. Before I go over to our data set, let's do a vote. Let's see if people are already dropping questions. Somebody's asking, isn't that automation? The registration link is blocked. Can we still invite new members? No, we can't invite new members. We've accepted 70 people into this group. Oh, okay. Some people declined our request because of our acceptance. They applied, we accepted them, and then they declined because they can't fulfill the conditions now, and they are open to join Cohort 2. And Cohort 2 is coming up in January, so if you have somebody who missed this, but for somebody who really, really wants to join and you think they can catch up, please chat up any of the admins and let them know that you have someone who really, really wants to join this cohort, this year before next year. So Abdul Fattah, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to any of the admins on the WhatsApp group, and then they will direct you on what to do. Thank you, Abdul Fattah. And let's do a vote. Our first data set, where should we look at it for the next 15 minutes? Google Sheet or Excel? The first to reach 10 is what we're going to use. So type it in the chat box. Okay, Excel is 1 already. Excel 2, Google Sheet 1, so 2 1 2 2. 3, Excel has 3, Excel has 4, Google Sheet has 3, Excel has 5. Google Sheet, you are losing. Excel, Google Sheet gaining ground. Excel, Google Sheet. All right, this is close. Excel again. Uchenna, you're voting twice. I caught you there. I caught you. Uchenna, you voted twice. All right, good. Excel has it by now. But you know what? Google Sheet came close, so we're just going to look at it in both of them. Just a few minutes each. So let's start with Excel since they won fair and square. So let's start with Excel. So here I am going to do my entire screen again so that we can all see. Okay, so we're going to do that with Excel. So I have this data set. I'm going to tell you a little secret now. This is trade secret, but come on, what are friends for? One of the things you can do to make your life better as a data analyst is to use just pardon me, I want to make sure this is showing very well. Okay, good. To use artificial intelligence. I created this data set using AI. And I'm hoping that we're going to have a session where we just talk of how you can use AI in data analysis. Isn't looking good. Why is that? Okay, we're looking good now. All right, so I generated the data for an imaginary station that shows movies, like a movie cinema, a fictional movie cinema, and I just generated. These were the movies I think that were trending during that time, and then I just came up with this data. So here I want to just show us a few of what we do with data. So when I see a data set like this, the very first thing that comes to my head is this data clean? Like, of course, we talked about cleaning. If the data is not clean, you're going to arrive at the wrong conclusion. So because I generated this myself, yes, the data is clean. The only thing is that it's not in the right format. Let me tell you why I think so. The day, the day is um, is it's just letters. It's just string. So that's fine. Nothing can go wrong. Movie title, same thing. Genre, the same thing. Now, showtime. Here, you can see that it's showing in hours and minutes. I really don't need that time yet. Maybe I'll change the format later, but for now, this format is fine by me. Now I have a problem. This is not showing like money, ticket prices. It's showing right here. You see what the data type is. It's showing general. I have a problem with that. So let's see if I can change that. But before I even do that, there's something you should always do if you're working with Excel and you have a data like this. First thing I'm going to do is to turn my data set into a table. It becomes easier for me. So to do that, I liked all my data. That's Control A, and then I go to insert. This has a shortcut, but I really don't use a lot of shortcuts. Control T is the shortcut if you like that, but I just go and insert a table. Now it makes it look easier. It looks a bit finer, but trust me, I'm not after the beauty. I can work with something that, if you like red, okay, we'll just stick with this. It looks somehow better. Yeah, we'll just stick with it. I'm going to change this to white. Text color, instead of black, I want to change that to white. So this will change. No, sorry, this I'm clicking the wrong one. This is text color, font color rather. It does that. I make it bold. All right. So what is it that I really want to do here? I hope our time is not too fast spent. I want to check if I don't have any blanks. That's why it is important to turn it into a table first. I want to be sure I don't have any blanks. You can see select all, no blanks. No blanks. Blanks are usually the first thing you see in the option. No blanks too. Good. No blanks here. Now you can see how easy it becomes. I can see that I have only 10 a.m., 1 a.m. and 4 p.m. Something I didn't notice before. Then of course my money, and then the number of tickets sold, no blanks. So my data is at least clean to an extent. Let's see if I can ensure that is I can do what I wanted with this part. I want to change this to reflect the dollar sign, that is to reflect that it is money. So to do this, I highlight column E, and then instead of general, I change it to currency. Here it said 5 naira, okay. 8 naira. Does this Excel know what the dollar is? No, I refuse to accept the naira. I'm sorry. I'll change it to dollars. I will change it to dollars, please. And I'm looking for. Let me see if I can get the US dollars. Where are you? All right, I'll just use any of the dollars. Yeah, English United States. Yeah, thank you. Exchange rate is important right now. I can't be doing 8 naira 50 kobo movie. Come on now. All right. So here I can easily see my prices. I've done a formatting for you there. So you have to make sure it is in the right format. Then let's reformat this time too. I don't like this. It's time, and I want it to show as time. Okay, I don't like this time. Let's see if we can make it into something else. Time. I don't have a lot of options here. Don't worry, we're going to look for more options over over time. I will show how you can get more time options. So we're going to leave this here for now. Okay, so let's do one analysis here today so that we're sure we're done. Now, when you're dealing with data sets, it's important to determine what you are looking at and what you're looking for. With my data here, what are the possible things this data can answer? I have the dates of the week. I want to know per day of the week, which movies are moving the most. Per day of the week, which genre moves the most. Per day of the week, what time is more booked. Per day of the week, I want to know, based on ticket prices, um, how many tickets are sold, and what, of course, is my profit, or rather, what is the revenue generated. We won't know what the profit is here because we don't know the cost. We don't know the cost of running the cinema, so we'll just look at revenue. So this is why data is so important. And every business, of course, like I said during our first session, every business generates data, and this data is what tells the story of the business, or what tells the story of the organization, the firm, or the individual. Hope you know you generate data too. You generate data. For instance, some of you keep a personal journal. Some keep a something that's like expenses tracker and all those kind of things. So you generate data even as a person. At this point, I will let you know that I'm going to be providing a link to this. This is our assignment. You're going to be given the raw data and you're going to replicate what we've done today, and you will demonstrate your proficiency in analyzing data. I want to see something. That is, I want you to replicate the questions I've just asked. Number one question. Please, can you type the questions I've asked in the comment section? I want to see something. The questions I've asked about this data set. What question can you remember? Let's see who goes first. We should have a reward system. We should have a reward system for those who participate well and for those who drop their comments on time. Please, can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay, I'm audible. All right, good. What question did you hear? Okay, good. Abdul Fattah first. Most sold movies. How many tickets sold each day of the week? Ibrahim, Tijani, Zuliat says, which day of the week is mostly booked? I love these questions. What time is the most booked? I love these questions. Now it shows that people are following, but there are some of you that have not said anything. Please drop the question you're most interested in by just looking at this data set. What question interests you the most? What do you want to ask the business?
Oh, okay.
Okay, Zuliat, please can you mute your microphone? Thank you. So, what genres do people go for the most? Thank you, Omobola. So it just tells you that we're listening and we're really set to make this happen. Good. Chibike said most sold movies. Good. Now, I will from next meeting we'll make sure that we're capturing those who are recording, those who are commenting or participating the most. I will have a gift for our best participant. Yeah, I know we can work something out. So good, we are 41 minutes gone. We have just about 10 minutes more to go. And sorry, Google Sheets, we're going to start from you next time. Now, I'm going to just do a simple mathematics to say revenue generated. Revenue. So here, we'll introduce the simple formulas, every formula starts with an equality sign. Equal to, if you're doing a formula in spreadsheet, equal to, how am I going to get the revenue generated here? I sold 23 tickets at $8.50 each. So I'm going to say this here, that's my E2 multiplied by F2. And then I get my answer. Because I made it into a table, it will automatically generate for all the other parts of the table. That's why I like making my this thing into a table when I'm working with Excel, especially when I'm working with Excel. It makes it so much easier. All right, we're good to go. Of course, this revenue generated, sorry, don't type revenue completely. Good. I want to also format it to show the money. Give me the money. It has to be the currency, and I don't know why this guy keeps giving me Naira. I want it in dollars. I'm sure I prefer it in dollars. No, I want it in a currency, and I want it in US dollars. All right. So we've made a simple input there. From our next class, we're going to continue with showing with this data set those questions. We're going to answer them, but our assignment is that I want you to go and answer 5 questions, or let's call it 6 questions. Number 1, what is the best selling? 2, what is the best selling genre? 3, when we say best selling, please, you have to factor in the ticket price. So best selling can be best selling in volume, that is in the number of tickets sold. It can be in revenues generated, however you want to present your thoughts. What time is the most booked? Or what day is most booked? Do you know most booked is still different from revenues generated? So you can check what days do we generate the most money, and what day do we, what time of the day do we generate the most money? And then from there, we're going to answer questions from tomorrow based on this data. For some of us who are already advanced, you can present it in a graph, you can present it in a dashboard, you can present your work however you want, and then we're going to provide a link on Monday for people to start turning in their assignments, and then by Thursday all assignments should be in, because our first session will be Friday. So Thursday, let's say 3 p.m. on Thursday, so that we can use Thursday evening to review, and then of course display some of our work and assign scores. Please note that we're not assigning scores based on dashboards or anything. We just want to see if you're understanding the basics, and if you want to count it, that's why this data set is not really big. If you want to count, if you cannot do any analysis, you just want to manually do, that's fine. Present your thoughts in a Word document, present it in a spreadsheet, present it anyhow you think best. But please, we're going to provide a link. We'll work out the best way to present it. I'll work with the admins to see the best way to present it, and how to also grade. Please, grading is just based on, did you submit your work? That's the grade. Did you submit your work? And then we'll give you feedback on the work. At this point, we're just going to take questions. We have just about 5 minutes And I have a question here that says, please, I hope it is recorded. Like I said earlier yesterday, yes, the session is recorded and you'll be given access to it, to these recorded sessions, hopefully Monday, Tuesday latest, God willing. And please, do you have any other questions? Please, the number 2 question again. Number 2 question here states that um, what 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 is the best-selling genre? So let me copy the and drop in the chat. Just a minute. Why am I struggling to find my? Okay, good. These are the 4 questions, but again, you can add another question that like comes to your mind. So I'm going to pin this so that everyone can see it. It's pinned, so you can concerning the assignment. Would this data set be available? Yes, the data set will be available this evening so that you can start having a look at it. It's just a very simple data set, and if we have time, I'm going to either show us live how I generate the simple data sets like this using artificial intelligence. Sometimes ChatGPT, sometimes Perplexity, Gemini Studio with Google, and a host of other. And you can also use Copilots from Microsoft. And I hope we'll be able to have a session where we just deal with how a data analyst can use AI for everyday simple work on Google Sheets or Excel. All right, team. You're asking me for question number 5. I've forgotten. So just make up the question 5, or it will come out with the email and the message for the assignment. Thank you so much, everyone. Our time is really, really fast spent today. We did a little bit of, let's do a little bit of recap with 2 minutes. Today we looked at how to access spreadsheets, and we looked at the different ways we can do that. We looked at spreadsheet interface. We talked about steps in data analysis cycle, and then we looked at the first step, which is data collection. During the next class, we're going to collect one data set. I'm going to show you live to collect a data set, maybe from Kaggle or wherever I find a very good one that is simple for use. And then we're going to clean it. We're going to spend maybe the whole session cleaning that data set, because some data sets will show you pepper, as they say it in Nigeria, where you're trying to do a lot of work. And then we talked about how and where to get your data set. And today we looked at our first data set in this bootcamp. Please do not, I know it looks very simple, but I want to assure you that the data sets we're going to be working with are going to be elaborate. Let me use that word, elaborate. And please, let's just use this to practice, answer basic questions, and then we'll do some presentation. One thing I'm going to do is for you is that I'm going to analyze this data set and make the video available to you along the 2 sessions. So that's a promise. I cross my fingers. I mean, is it cross my heart? They say. I will make that available before the next session. Any more questions before we close today? It's been almost an hour already. You said the Telegram. Okay, yes. I will reshare the Telegram link also today, and a host of other things. We will get them today. Thank you to the admins that are working behind the scene to make this work out. Thank you so much. Big shout out to all of the people that are working to round the clock to help with this case. To Eriolua, to Mercy, to Anifa, Uchenna, and everyone else who I've had to call. If you know how many people I've spoken with today just to make this work, a big shout out to all of you. And then we love you. Thank you for what you do. And then we're going to see you again on Wednesday. Is going to be an optional session. It's just a check-in where we have the opportunity to discuss a bit about the progress we're making with our assignment, and of course any other thing you want to ask. So just a Q&A session, no agenda. Wednesday, the link will be available. It's likely going to be in the night because of course most of us work full time. 8 o'clock, yeah, thereabout.